Let's talk about where the practice of law is going, because if we look back, it's changed quite a bit. And I know we've talked about this. We believe the change is going to continue, consolidation and things like that. Glenn, everybody wants to hear from you your thoughts on the future of the practice of this type of law and the changes that we could expect.
I think before the pandemic, I think we all knew that there was a reckoning coming to personal injury law in the next 12 to 15 years with the advent of autonomous vehicles, cars having better and better technology where, when you get too close to someone, it makes some noise, or your blinkers do this or do that. It's harder and harder for cars to crash. So as you get newer and newer cars on the road, you have fewer and fewer older cars that don't have those technologies. You're going to have fewer accidents. Now, we saw with the pandemic, a lot of our roads had 10% of what they used to. Everybody that's on this call, us included, we saw our cases go down for the year. We were very blessed that our cases didn't go down to the same percentage of the number of people working or people driving, but still, it changed our business model, and it's not going back. If you think that it's going back to normal, that first question you had, the new normal, this is the new normal, people. You're going to have a higher percentage of people working out of the house. Those glory days of just accidents falling from the sky, it's not going to be quite the same as it was before. I think a lot of people obviously worry right now. I mean, it's simple as that. And I'm a contrarian, so people are worried. That's when I think there's opportunity. I truly believe consolidation is coming to our business. You have to. There are too many lawyers, too many guys fighting over for cases, and it's just not enough opportunity for the smaller players. I think there's a lot of opportunity even for bigger players that just don't want to do this anymore. A lot of guys are getting older. They're looking for exit strategies. This is a perfect time. It's a different world in this business model now. Social media is playing a bigger and bigger part. How do we as lawyers become relevant on social media? How do you take what we do and become relevant? It's a different world now. I wish it was the old days where you put 10,000 on TV and everybody's home and the phone just keeps ringing. That's a good return, $166 per case. That's not happening anymore. Case cost acquisition price is going up every single year as people are spending more online, more and more people are advertising on TV for fewer and fewer cases. I love this business model. I think it's a truly unique business model. We get people that really aren't businessmen. We come in with law degrees. We're taught this stupid word, tort. I thought it was a tart when I first went to my first class in Tulane. I was like, what, a class on pastries, torts? And so that ends up being what I pursue for my career. But how this metamorphosis from a guy that doesn't even know what the word means to it becoming pretty good at this as a businessman, turning it into a business model where you employ the fundamental tenets of business, and you almost turn this into a widget factory, because I think that's the only way you can approach this to be successful and to really provide the best service. Because people, you are not the commodity, the client is the commodity. They have all the leverage now. They don't like you, they'll give you a 1 star. Whether you deserved it or not, that 1 star knocked out $100,000 in your TV advertising in one blow. So get over yourselves. You are not the commodity. The client is everything. How are you going to service that client? How are you going to take care of that client? How are you going to love that client and make that client want to, say, oh, those guys are the best? It's tough. It takes a lot of work. It's continuous training. And we're not perfect, but when you drop the ball, how do you say mea culpa to a client and get them to turn that 1 star? My partner, Kevin, his whole life is just handling negative reviews, taking 99 out of 100 of those that, because usually it's just a cry for help. A 1 star review isn't somebody that really thinks you want. It was a cry for help. They don't know how else, maybe the lines of communication got broken, whatever happened. So instead of just saying, oh, forget them, we'll make it up with 25 star reviews, you do the math, it still doesn't get you quite back up to 5 stars. So he's on the phone with every one of those things. Mrs. Johnson, what happened? How did we drop the ball? Why did you write that? I've looked at the notes, it's not quite what you're saying, let's talk about this. And 9 times out of 10 times they'll remove that or even turn it into a 5-star review. The customer isn't always right, people. The customer just wants to be heard. Remember that.